right, welcome everyone to Milan Club SoCal. This is our episode 2. Today is the 22nd. I'm joined here with Anthony and Andrea.
Yo, everybody. Glad to be back.
Hi guys.
All right, Gio is going to pop in as well here. So we got a packed episode. We got a good amount of stuff to talk to. Obviously, the Bologna game was yesterday, Monday. Um, we were away, and it was a great game, 1-2-0. A lot of good stuff to see on the attacking end and the midfield. For me, still some defensive worries, but what did you guys think?
Type of game that maybe last year we would have drawed because, I mean, the really good news for me is like Leao and Teo didn't have a great game, but it didn't matter because the right side actually performed. And it never happened last year. Like last year, if Leao had like an okay game, we were fucked. But this year, like it looks like, even the second goal, the Pullisic goal, there was no space at all. It was literally pure class, just class. And that's like, I really love that because we have these solutions that make games like this look easy, but it wasn't easy at all, guys. Like, I think defensively, it wasn't that good. And oh yeah, the Bologna wing, he dribbled Calabria a bunch of times, like painfully. And it's not just because Calabria is not a great defender in those situations, but because he was alone a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that we really suffer, and we suffered last year, and it really will really look like exactly like last year when we were defending, because when the ball was going from one side to the other, we were so naked. It was like scary. It happened after 20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Ball on from the right to the left, and if we are playing against a real team that is not Bologna, it's another story. So honestly, I'm pumped because I love that we're back with the Serie A, but I wish we had a better set of games, going forward. But we don't have time to have shit games now because we're gonna play against all the big teams in the next, I don't know, 5-6 games. Literally, if we don't really find a balance right now, we may be out of everything like in October. Like if we lose like 4 games, we're fucked. So it's super crucial. It's crazy that we have such a crucial moment right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think, going forward, we looked great. I thought Reindeers, amazing, did a really great job. I thought it was pretty crazy that I didn't realize until after the game ended he had 100% passing accuracy. But what I really liked the most about his performance was uh, the way in which he was able to move the ball either in very tight spaces when he was getting, crowded by 2 or 3 defenders, finding the spaces, and then Pulisic just had an amazing game. His goal, I was at work and I
I
could
can't
scream
scream.
because it was just a golazo. It was a rocket.
Dude, that was
Great
crazy.
goal.
Also because I think we're not used to that kind of class like
Mhm.
lately because it's just like few
It's
players.
Leao or nothing.
It's like quality. It's like tight spaces, 1-2, boom. Like we're not used to that. That shit used to happen years ago. Reinders has such a confidence. It's a great player, but again, I saw all the stats. He had 100% accuracy, but he touched the ball 27 times, and it's
Mhm.
very low. Like we should play on him much
Yeah.
more, especially because I saw that like Loftus Cheek touched it like double. Like he was running too much. He ran like 13 kilometers. That is, I don't know, like 11 miles, some crazy number. He can't do that shit all year.
Yeah, no.
I really think that we need to find a balance because now, even that run that he did, he saved the goal basically Rangers when he went deep with that, like when the striker was basically in front of Menyan. Like that's a long run. And that's the type of run that the Ketelaere didn't do last year in the derby and Brozovic scored. So I really like the fact that he's really on it, but we need to find a balance. And I think we find balance if we get another player
Mhm.
that is not Kronic. That,
Yeah.
sorry,
I
but
like the mentality too of the team and especially the new players. usually, yeah, like last season, probably even maybe a little bit the season before, once we kind of got in that second half, 60th minute on, we were just like, all right, we're not going to really attack that much more.
Yeah.
But dude, this last game, you could tell the players they wanted it. They were looking for blood. You know, I like that mentality. I hope we keep it. But yeah, for sure, you could tell the players were definitely getting tired towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
You could tell their fitness just isn't quite up yet. Um,
It was very hot
obviously,
also in
it
Bologna.
was, yeah, um, very hot, very humid. Um, but yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, Torino, there's that last time for them to get into fitness before the Roma game, and then we have Inter after the break. So yeah, you're right. This next schedule games is absolutely crucial. But I did like really what we saw today. It was a really good performance. Yeah, defensively for me still worries, um, but it's looking better.
I think if we played again, dude, if the problem is the difference in quality was enormous,
Mm-hmm.
and Bologna had really, really good chances, like really clear open chances that they didn't. I want to see what happens if Bologna scores. Like, do we have the balls to
Come back, or yeah,
act?
yeah.
Because I mean, we'll see. All the answers are gonna come soon because we have no time. Like all the games are gonna
But
be
I
super
mean,
fun.
the fluidness of us. I mean, Pulisic being on the left side of the field, Leao being on the right side of the field, Giroud coming all the way back and just doing give and goes. I mean, it was a
So
nice little
much.
flow.
Yeah, it was really good to see. Um,
Gio, what do you got? Does your
yeah,
mic work or what?
Yeah, man, I don't know what the heck is going on. But apologies. Nah, I really liked the game yesterday, but like everybody said, I've been defending Calabria on Twitter all summer, on videos I've been on, and yesterday Ferguson like turned him inside out, and Calabria's game has always been about defending, and now he can't even do that. So, and then like Kalulu came in, was he even that much better? I don't know. I think he's lost his confidence too. But to me, I think we need somebody in the midfield that's going to give us some steal and recover balls because I
hmm
think we got ran through a lot. Even though we were playing good in the first half, I think in the second half they kept on coming through our midfield like it was nothing, like if it was butter.
hmm
But other than that, I mean, Pioli did changes, and I'm glad he did like four changes because we're gassed out by the 60th minute. And you could tell that Rangers is the only fit person on their team because he was the only one that wasn't tired. So,
Yo, he played 50 games last year. He played all the games for
yeah,
Atalanta. So he is like a weird, specimen. It's a crazy crazy athlete. But I agree. For Calabria, dude, I'm not a Calabria lover, but yesterday he was alone. Like so many times, he
hmm
was literally 1v1. And that situation, it doesn't matter who you are, it's too risky. Like it should never happen.
hmm
Like last year, I mean, Salamakers would help the right back, but right now we don't have the balance yet to have that type of situation working. Even last year when we didn't have Salamakers, when Messias tried to help, he didn't help. Shit,
hmm
dude.
I
It
think
was
the other part of the problem too with Calabria, he was always left alone too, is because Cha plays next to him. And we know he's not the fastest guy, and a lot of those plays, Cha was more further up, and Calabria was able to track back, but Cha doesn't have that speed to get back and assist with trying to handle the other defenders. I think that's also part of the problem.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
that is it affects Calabria's like sort of yeah. He just that's why he gives so much space to defenders is because he probably feels like he has to be that person back there that's going to save the day if that's if Chow's coming back slow, then but he just is too far back. He's just leaving too much space, and then it might be
mhm.
because of again his small legs. I mean, those things are just stubs now. I mean, they just he cannot keep up with nobody.
No, but man, I remember last year I was checking the stats, and basically Calabria gets dribbled 3 times more than Kalulu on average.
Mm-hmm.
Like in general, he is literally easy to dribble. It's a fact. So he needs help, and if he doesn't get help, it's easy to get past him. So I don't know. I like. I mean, we don't have a player that is much better than him. That you're like, oh, why don't you bench Calabria? Like, what are you gonna do? You know,
Sure.
even if Kalulu potentially
Mhm.
could be better, but I don't know. Also, yesterday, I don't know if you saw, guys, but we kept on playing this fucking like right back and left back inside in the midfield, and it really sometimes I was like, it was making me crazy, dude. I'm like, dude, what? Teo Hernandez was in the midfield, just chilling. Like, dude, you are an arrow. You have to run on the, or you either cut through or you have to run on the wing. I don't know. I just think it's the first game. It's August,
Yeah.
okay, but there's a bunch of question marks, honestly, to me. Obviously, we're talking about the defensive, like phase, because there's not a lot to say about the attacking class is crazy. We have even the bench is amazing now. I mean, like, compared to last year, this year is like Okafor and Chukwueze. Even the other team is like, oh shit, and they don't like say, oh yeah, now there's Makers in. We don't have to defend anymore. There, nobody's ever gonna score from the right. Now they're like more scared.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I agree. I agree. So who was your player of the game, in your opinions? I'm gonna go with Rangers on for me. I think it was just fantastic. Did a really good job. Obviously got the assist on the first goal, and he just looked really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
I also,
or go
I
ahead on.
think,
Go ahead, Andre.
no, you can go. Sorry, I'm.
Uh, well, I'm gonna go for USA. I'm gonna go for Pulisic on that because it was the debut game. I was talking to Fabio at Coast to Coast over there. Shout out to Coast to Coast. I was talking to him this last weekend, and he said, "Yeah, Pulisic needs to set the tone for what he's able to deliver."
You did.
And he did, and it wasn't, he was putting in deliveries that were dangerous. Even the first goal, you could, it hit Rangers, and it just looked like it was a nasty cross that defense was just scared out of their, they were just scared shitless. So
Yeah, that cross was with his left
yeah,
foot, by the way. So it's like he literally, you don't know what he's gonna do, and it's super talented.
yeah, and then the
Mhm.
fact that he was moving all over the field, he wasn't so stuck in his position on the right. It just gives me hope that there's just not going to be a team out there that's going to be like, oh, let's just shut down the right or let's just shut down the left. It's going to be scattered. They're going to know not what to do. So definitely Pulisic for me, which is different from there's people that were saying that we were frustrated with our last podcast, but so yeah, he definitely you know shut me up a
I
bit. I had some criticism too, but I'm just glad that he's. I don't care. I'm glad he's doing good.
What do you think, Gio?
I'm gonna give it to reindeers, and I feel that a lot of people giving credit to Pulisic on that pass, but that's all reindeers and its athleticism and his technique just to bring down the ball, because it was basically almost outside the box, outside the lines, but he brought it down with that boom one time, and I like his quality. I would just give it to both of them, to be honest. I think they were very outstanding, and you
Mhm.
know what? Like we saw them in practice, like we said, and we didn't really see nothing from Pulisic. But maybe he doesn't enjoy practice or he doesn't enjoy preseason because, from what I saw from preseason, we're going based on preseason, and he didn't look good on the right. But now that's good competition for him and
Mhm.
Chukwueze. And you see the difference between him and Chukwueze. Chukwueze, what I liked when he came on is he went to track back, and that's good. That might help Calabria in the long run. But if Pulisic keeps on balling out like he's doing, I mean, I don't think he's gonna be starting.
Yeah,
I,
I yeah, I think Pulisic had a great game. He really did. Um, but yeah,
I think his goal was really like good news for us because it just shows that he and Giroud, they speak kind of the same language, because that type of even just thinking, okay, I'm going because dude, all the defense was there. There was no space at all. The idea was like, okay, let's make it happen, and they just like did this like triangle, and the fact that they made it happen is just such a that type of goal we never scored it. If it wasn't Leao, nobody was gonna score out of the blue like that. And
Huge
that's
cover too.
means so much because this is gonna resolve so many games like this. Like you have Bologna. Like, what's happening? It's like 85th minute. We're still drawing. And then he's gonna fucking fix it for us. So it's huge. If he doesn't, if he stays healthy and everything, it's definitely an upgrade, honestly, comparing to.
But definitely shout out to Giroud too. That would be like my second because he was just giving going. He was tracking back. I mean, yeah, he was going all the way back to the midfield and making shit happen. So
He's 37, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I think Pulisic, when he celebrated, you could tell he was really happy to score. I really like that. Hopefully I'll the doubters, if they're out there, kind of got okay, maybe
Wait, there were
let's
so
see.
that many doubters. Like I feel like his class compared to you don't have to compare it to Gareth Bale. You have to think of fucking Junior Messias, guys. Like
Yeah. I
I take
honestly, my only concern was just with the 4-3-3, if Chukwueze is supposed to be, we thought would be our main starter, how does
Guys.
Pulisic fit in?
I more doubted Pioli though, if anything. I doubted more Pioli and his formation. So not so much Pulisic. I think I did have. I mean, I had an understanding of his talent and everything like that, but it was mostly Pioli. I had doubt, but it worked.
No, man, keep your doubts and stay worried. I don't know why you're like,
some sleep.
We won against Bologna, so now all my doubts are just. Make it a T-shirt. Stay worried.
So we kind of touched on it in our flops of the game. I think you guys had mentioned Tomori, Calabria. I think I kind of agree with Tomori. He didn't have the best of games. Still a little bit of a worry. Hopefully he gets back in the rhythm of things and gets back to the form that we know that he can do, the job that he can do. But yeah, I'm still a little worried about the defense as a whole.
Yeah. I have a theory about it. Maybe it's bullshit, but I've seen both Tomori and Chow very tired, and he kind of because they're like big, powerful dudes. I feel like their mind was saying do this, but their body wasn't ready for that type of play yet. So they were literally like thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna just dribble and pass," but then you're just too slow because you're not fit enough. Even Chow was like at the end, dude. He's like 22. He was like dead at the end, So I just think it could be something they're just not fit enough. Yeah, I hope.
Yeah.
Because that's not the problem, they're just not good, and that would suck.
Yeah.
So kind of.
They just don't make them like they used to. I mean, you got Giroud running all over the place, and you got these 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds that are can't handle it.
So kind of moving on to the Torino game. So obviously that's this Saturday at 11:45 Pacific our time. We will have two locations just as a club. We will be at McAllen's in Brea, and then Fox and Hounds in kind of right by Universal Studios, Studio City. So we'll have the two meetup locations there. Join us for those games, whichever's closest to you. But on the Torino game, we kind of mentioned, at least for me, in terms of who we're going to line up with, I think we should probably change it up maybe a little bit, just to kind of get fitness a little bit back into some of the other players. But I don't know. What do you guys think for Torino? How do you think the game is going to pan out? Who should we start with? Who should come in? What do you guys think?
I think I want to see Okafor from the beginning. I know Giroud had a good game, but come on, man, he's 37 years old. and he needs some rest, man. We're gonna need him. I mean, like in next month or so, Champions League starts again or something, and he can't be playing like 2 games a week. It's gonna be crazy. So that's what I would say.
Mm.
I think that right now they're kind of training while playing because they're not overplayed, you know. So I don't think it's a problem. I think it's probably somebody like Giroud should play as much as possible just to get into like the right condition because it's not like the end of the season where if you play one game more you're gonna get injured. I feel like maybe now we can rest him, you know. But also I don't know why, but I heard, for example, that Chukwueze, he only has like 30 minutes in his legs. Like, what the fuck? Is he a football player? Like, what was he doing this summer? What does it mean that you have 30 minutes? Was he like on holidays? I
No.
don't know.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, from what I saw with the Torino and Calgary game, like, yeah, they couldn't handle Calgary. They couldn't. It would still ended up 0-0, but yeah, I think there needs to be a time where and you can't blame Pioli at that point because that's what we did last season, right? We were just like we played against what teams that we thought were shit, and so we didn't play our main starters, and then sure enough we bashed on Pioli. So you know if he's gonna do that, I mean yeah, it's hard. It's a hard call. Glad I'm not
Yeah.
in that
It's not
position.
going to change the lineup. That's not the moment to change the lineup, I think, especially because there's no time. The big games are approaching. The Roma game is going to be a war as always. Because I don't know if you saw the first game for Roma, but they're back at just being fucking Street Fighter bullshit,
They
you
still
know.
tied though against. It still was 2-2
But
though.
it's always the same. Like you're like losing at home against Salernitana, and then you come back, and then you almost win it on the
Yeah.
But
98th minute, and then
yeah,
everybody around the referee, and it's a fight every fucking like I don't know.
but
I just
And
yeah,
Mourinho's definitely installed the "it's us against the entire world" mentality there.
yeah, exactly.
Um, which it's not, but
yeah.
that's
Well,
just
that's
how
their
Mourinho does it.
yeah. That links into their mentality problems. They did last season too. They just the mental part of it is just they get screwed up. There's just too much pressure on the
Mhm.
players. They can't handle it, and
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
not a good mentality these days. You can't do that. You have to you can't put that pressure on these players these days. You just can't.
Yeah. I guarantee you, if Roma had better players, Mourinho would be playing differently.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
I don't believe it because he's always been that guy.
Eh,
I mean, obviously he
Yeah.
doesn't have a great
not
team,
really, but yeah.
but I don't think that he's able to just like do play like a beautiful football. You
Yeah.
know, it's always gonna be like it's the strong, the hard team to beat. You know, unless when it was Inter, obviously they had 17 champions, but with Roma, it's totally different. I don't know. I'm just like always stressed about it because it's like
Yeah.
when we play against Roma, maybe we play great, we score 2 goals, everything is okay, and then like corner kick 80th minute and they score and everything goes to shit and
Yeah.
it's like a war, you know. So I'm scared of that type of game, honestly.
What do you guys think? How will we fare against Torino? What do you think the result will be? I think it'll be a
I
win,
think
but I don't think it'll be as easy as it kind of
No, it's tough.
seemingly was against Bologna. It's gonna be way tougher.
Juric is a coach that doesn't. Thiago Motta is much more like gives you space. It's like very like open, 1v1 type of game. I want to score 1 goal more than you. Juric is like a tactician. Juric is like he's a great coach. It's gonna be a really hard game. Again, we're gonna need some crazy play from
mhm.
our big players.
What do you think, Gio?
Oh man, it's first home game. The beer's gonna be flowing, the champagne's gonna be flowing. Sold out crowd, baby. We're gonna be singing to the top of our lungs. And I think that the team is really gonna perform. It's gonna be tough, but I like these two first two games because Bologna and Torino, they're very physical. So this is gonna show me if we pass these two tests, we're gonna see how they are. And I've been seeing the reports and everything that now we're bigger in the midfield. We finally can win a header in the midfield because with Benacer and Tonali, they was like 5'9" or something like that. Now we're over 6'2". So I think this game is really gonna show us and singles all out of there. So we're just gonna see. But what I like about this team now, you can't. I think Jurich, he's a very good tactician, but come on, last year he only had to prepare for one person, and that was Rafael. Now he has to prepare for for Pulisic or even Chukwueze coming off the on the pitch, or even a Okafor. So that's what I like about this team now. And you know what? I think everybody is behind Pulisic. Oh well, that was crazy.
Ale, you have to mute.
Okay, I muted him. All right. So,
Little cameo from LA.
yes.
Yo, but no, on Torino though, I just want to point out that I mean, I think that it's a good point, Gio, that we're bigger, we're a lot bigger with Ruben and Chow, and I think that we don't have CDK being pushed around.
We should talk about CDK too, by the way.
Yeah, we
It was
do.
the day.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the day.
But I think
Yesterday was
that
the day.
that we do need to come out. I'm gonna disagree with you, and I think we do need to come out with their same lineup and just keep going with the. I know we definitely need to obviously get the confidence and get the backup players going, but I think right now we just need to get the mentality of winning stuck in our brains until we could move on to trying some other things
Yeah, I mean, think about it. If we can perform well in this first month, like we're gonna be believing in winning the Scudetto 100% because we're gonna play literally Roma, Inter, Juventus, Napoli, Lazio. Like it's insane, dude. If we end up with like a good amount of points, it's gonna be like, yeah, we can do this shit. Or it could be like horrible. We could be like,
Yeah.
fuck, it's over. It's
Yeah,
over.
so just to mention on that. So yeah, obviously we played Torino on Saturday. Friday, I don't know why the game was on a Friday, but we play Roma. That's September 1st. International break. Inter, Verona, Cagliari, then Lazio, Genoa, Juve. That's after another international break. Napoli, Udinese, and then it kind of we play a little bit more of the mid-table
Between you
teams.
and Napoli, there's Champions League football, by the way.
Yeah, and the draw is going to be on the 31st. I think it's going to be at about 11 p.m. Pacific our time. So we're going to see what we can maybe talk about Champions League in a bit. But we kind of mentioned it. CDK.
Why so
was
many
the day.
international breaks, man? What the hell is going on, bro? They want to kill these players, bro.
Yeah, clearly. It's funny because I think even who was it on Manchester City? I think was it De Bruyne or another player. He had said they talked to the players union, and they said, "Look, we're playing too many games. Like
I think it was Rodri.
It might have been Rodri. Yeah, it was one of the players, and they were like, "We're playing way too many games. It's
Rodri.
not only just
Every time we see Rodri, we have to like blast, and we just have to fucking say thank you, Rodri.
yes, 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 and thank you, Radu, on the subject of people to thank. But anyway, just too many games, and then instead of let's play less games, they said no, we're playing more games. So I don't know why there's so many games. I mean, it's not like
I really can't feel sorry. I can't feel sorry for the guys. Just fucking play the games,
yeah.
I know it's too much, but now it's the beginning of the season. When it's like May and you're overplayed, you can't complain. Now it's like, come on, you stayed in Ibiza for like 3 weeks. You now you're just play. Come on.
Yeah. But anyways, CDK scored yesterday. Came off the bench. He did he did great. I know all of us love CDK for the most part. I like him. I think he's they're still a good player in the in that brain and in those legs. But he looked good. He hit the post. I think first was his first kind of big chance, and then he had a couple other ones, and then the last one or the one that was his goal. He headed the ball in. It did cross the line. Um, the referee did get the notification that it did cross the line, awarded the goal.
He
I don't know
was
what you guys think.
he was just as surprised as actually they were playing. They were playing. He was like, "Who, me?" They were playing. They're actually. I watched that game. They were playing like around him. He was like the driver. He was the main force with their attack. He was like a key player on and off the ball. Completely
Yeah,
different than what we had. But
I
yeah.
don't know.
Andrea.
He literally played like second striker on the right. That is basically what he was supposed to fucking do, even at Milan, but he never did once. But again, I mean, it's just a game, and it's funny because I've been calling this goal for a year. It never happened, and then it happens the first fucking game that he plays up against Atalanta. And again, to show his lack of confidence, he scores. Everybody notices that the referee awarded it before him. He was already like, oh shit. Like he was literally like his body language was like fuck again. I missed. And then everybody was like, no, dude, you scored.
Yeah.
It's just like you see that he needs to get confidence, and he's definitely a good player. Probably it's never gonna be like a like super high level because he just can't stand the pressure. And that's like 50% of playing the game. So
Mhm.
I'm happy for him. Apparently the day like we actually saw we're the only Milan fans that saw CDK scoring a goal live.
Mhm.
That's true.
That's that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he did score the penalty. It was against Real Madrid,
Yeah. He,
or was it
he, he
Juve?
no, it was against
It was
Real.
Juve.
Juve? I don't know.
Was it? No, it was against
Yeah,
Juve because it was the
it would
penalty
be.
shootout.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
the
because
penalty
against
shootout.
Real
Yes.
we lost. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we were very lucky to see that. Um,
It turned
just kind of
out
unfortunate. We'll see. I don't know, Gio, any thoughts on CDK before we move on to the next topic?
I just want the kid to do good, and because we really hoping on. Because if he doesn't do good, whether you're a Milan fan or not, I mean, call yourself a Milan, you want him to do good so we could sell him. Say he has a horrible season, we probably get like 10 million to 15 million max next summer. I want him to do good, and then maybe a dumb club like Manchester United comes in and pays 100 million for him, and we have a 10 million, 10% resale. So that's the extra 10 million. Because Manchester United or these Premier League clubs, they're paying like they saw Hoojland score 9 goals, and oh yeah, 85 million. Here you go, buddy.
that
He has the talent, but I just want him. I just want him to do good, and uh, um I think after this goal, you're gonna see Frosinoni's up next for them, and hopefully he could bag a hat trick or something. So
it's close.
we could officially
Andreas,
sell him.
Andreas is like, oh my god, I wanted to see us score a hat
Yeah.
trick for the
I,
longest
I
time.
because we've seen every single game together how much I believed in the guy.
How long have we been saying is today the day?
Yeah, never.
So moving on, so Gio kind of touched on it, the transfers. We've had a few transfer news going on. Obviously, we got Pellegrino from the Argentinian league. I believe he's a center back, young. I think he's like 19 years old.
Yeah,
Um,
last year is supposed to be pretty good.
yeah, so hopefully he works out in the defense. Hopefully, that's a good signing for the future, maybe even the season. Hopefully he's a breakout star. Let's hope. Um, and then we had some news on Salamakers. Some reports saying that he wasn't happy. That obviously it looks like he's going to move to Spain, probably to Real Betis. Was the last news that I had saw.
Yeah.
And then Balotelli, we've had this agreement apparently with Werder Bremen for a long time. It's supposed to happen. We're just kind of waiting for that to kind of become official. Origi sitting on the bench collecting checks. So, what do you guys think of the transfer news?
Look, guys, this guy Balo Torre is pissing me off. When everybody is telling me that they want to give Kunich that 2.5 million net on a 5-year contract, I tell him no, he's not worth it. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he's 31. So in 2 more years, he's gonna decline. So at 34, 35, 36, who's gonna want to pay him 2.5 million net euros
Nobody.
to take him off our hands? Nobody. We've had players. We've had Montolivo. We've had Bakayoko that didn't want to leave. We had fucking. Remember, we love Samu. We love Samu, but how many transfers did he? Because he was making a high salary. So like, let's be honest. Like now, he's a good player, but not to get a pay rise. Let him run down his contract. It ends at 2025, and that's it. And we'll get whatever's left of Krunic. But we've had so many players that we couldn't get rid of in the past. That's come to haunt us.
But
Remember Biglia too. So
yeah. The problem with him is it's true. Kind of, I think everybody kind of knows that he's not like great. But if you sell him, who do you buy? And like that type of position is such a crucial position that if you're half good, you're like $35 million. In any league, and then you have to buy this player at the end of August with this type of calendar that we have. Like I think it's like we should not sell him. Like that it would be insane to sell him. Like who do we buy? Who first of all, how much do they pay for Krunic? 8 million, like tops.
Mhm. I think it was like about 10 million or so.
Yeah, but 10 they don't give us 10 million for Krunic. And also, dude, again, he's 31. He's never gonna be better than now. Like he's never gonna get better. He definitely peaked. So that's the player that we have. We know him. He knows the coach. Like that's the pros are he knows the coach, he knows everything, but I don't know. If we sold him, we should have sold him 2 months ago. Because now it's so late.
Mm.
Balotelli, dude, the problem with these players, even Origi, they always say it on the news, the Milan, news stuff, that Milan is too cool as a city for this
Right.
player to leave.
That's what I
Because
was
it's
thinking.
great, it's
Yeah.
chill, they love it, the wives love it. So when they have to go and move to like Turkey, they're like, you know.
Yeah.
So
or
they're
Saudi Arabia.
yeah, South Arabia. Balotelli,
Well, yeah, no, it's true. You hear a lot of players, like I think even Gundogan, his partner was like, "Fuck me, like get me out of the city.
yeah,
Manchester
exactly.
sucks. There's no
Dude,
culture. There's no food. There's no nothing. We're trying to raise a child. Yeah, I get it. Obviously Milan is just an amazing city, with everything. It's really hard to leave the city, and then especially if you're on high wages, definitely don't want to go.
yeah.
Um,
Especially because nobody's ever gonna pay you more because Balotore knows. He knows that he's that type of player. He's probably being like overpaid a lot. So
yeah,
he's like, dude, I'm just gonna cruise it.
But we need
Cool.
yeah.
that. We need the backup though. I mean, if Theo, we just need that backup. And
I think Bartasagi is going to be
oh,
the
Yeah,
okay.
Batasagi is up
No,
there.
then
Yeah, so
yeah. So
Ballatore just
that's
needs to
good.
go. But what about Krunic? I
Yeah,
mean, Krunic, yeah, like Andrea was
yeah.
saying, if we don't have anybody lined up um, to pull the
I think
trigger on,
we keep him. We can't. We
yeah,
can't. There's no way that you sell. The only midfielder that can play that position at the like in the last week of August. That's like insane if we do it.
yeah.
He's just using this to get a raise, and I understand it. Let's talk about it. But what the fuck are you gonna do? You're gonna sell him? Like, come on. And then what?
Yeah.
Cool.
would you use say somebody comes in 10 million, right? So we pay transfer over years. So if say Fenerbahce is smart enough to pay 12 million. Would you use that money to go get Amrabat for Fiorentina? Because I think Amrabat's sitting and Loftus Cheek and Reindeer's running all over the pitch. I think our midfield could becomes and Amrabat can recover balls and he can progress the ball, and
Yeah,
he's
but he's
still
not $12 million worth. Is worth
Like
much.
30 or 40.
Yeah,
they're selling him to United for 25 million. So I
I
mean
mean, if we're able to
that's the
sell,
price range of the
yeah,
Cardinal and management, 20
yeah.
to 25.
I think if we're able to
26 years
sell
old.
Origi, Balotore, Salad, other players, we can maybe get enough funds to do it. I mean, I think Amrabat would be great.
yeah, it's August 2022, guys. We've been trying to sell these fuckers for months.
We still have, I think the transfer market closes on the 1st, so we have just about a week to sell about 5 players.
You know what? Honestly, one thing I want to talk about, Makers, he doesn't deserve to be pushed out that way. I think
I
because
kind of,
he's been like really playing for the
mm-hmm,
colors. Like he's not an amazing player, but I think that in the rotations, like you always need a Makers on the bench, chilling. Need him comes on, but of course you can't base your team around him. But don't like
mm-hmm.
shove him outside. Like what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think you could tell every time he hit the pitch, he would die for the shirt.
You
He had that mentality. Obviously he's not an amazing player, but yeah, he put a lot of him on the line to to grant up victories.
Yeah, but also if you think about it, he's never gonna play. If
He's
on the
just not. Yeah.
like Chukwueze and Pulisic, I don't know. Like we maybe, I mean, I
Unless
would
we switch to a 3-4-3.
no, but honestly, I would still want him on the bench because we know all of us. We know that in November, mid-November, we're gonna have 19 injuries, and we're gonna have to find
No,
somebody to
Yeah.
fit.
don't talk like that.
Dude,
The
it's been like the
Dr.
last
Nick
couple
of
years.
Milan's medical team will
Exactly.
find
Still,
yeah.
They synchronize and they're like,
positive thoughts.
Yeah. So moving on, Arrigo Sacchi, our legendary manager, had some comments to say recently about the lack of Italian players on the team. He said, as a fan, he wouldn't be happy right now with Milan having all these foreign players.
Great.
He went on to actually talk good about Inter and Simone Inzaghi, how they're doing with their Italian players and everything. I don't know. I just wanted your guys' thoughts. What do you think of his opinions?
I agree with Saki, man, but I love me some Italian players to play. That's what me. Shout out to Fabio, man. He wants more Americans on the team. I want more talent, which is kind of strange. But to me, I think what makes it tough for us to go to Italian players is the price. As soon as we come in, Fratesi 40 million for us, 25 million for Inter. So I mean, he should have said that. Like, yeah, I want more talent, but I know the price comes up when Milan comes in for an Italian player. Like, remember Lovato? We wanted him 30 million. They sold him to Atalanta for 8 million. So that's like the difference. Every time Milan comes, we're broke. We're not flexible. We're not a Premier League team. But as soon as we come in for an Italian player, it like skyrockets. The only one that we got on a good deal was Tonali. I mean, who else recently
Yeah, no,
that
you're
I
absolutely
remember?
right. I mean, yeah, I mean, you look at all the really good performing Italian players right now. If you were to approach their clubs, they add a 0 or 2 at the end, and it's somewhat justifiable because those players are good.
Yeah, is it though? I mean, last time I checked, we were out of the World Cup for 2 times in a row. Okay, so this is like players that
I
we
mean,
have to
like
pay
Chiesa,
30 million for are just overpriced as fuck, and nobody else wants them. It's not like only Tonali is being like, was paid a lot of money by Newcastle, but it's not like we have, so much,
yeah.
you know, transactions with Italian players coming going on. Like, dude, when Scamacca went to West Ham, I could have bet like $100 that he was gonna come back the year after. Is it
Yeah.
that's what Italian players do when they go outside. We don't even know if Tonali's gonna perform at Newcastle. Like
Would
at
you
the end.
make the same bet for Zaniolo at Aston Villa?
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's so many cases like that. Even Immobile, when he went to Borussia and then comes back and comes here and scores a billion goals, and we're like, oh my God, we have a great striker, and then we don't go to the World Cup twice. That's like,
Yeah, that's because they didn't play the Serie A anthem instead of Italian national anthem when he was on the pitch. So
it's just like it's super overpriced, and also like we can go. We need to, if we don't have like a big budget, we need to go to France and to
Germany.
Netherlands and
Mm,
finding talents, because now Scalvini 45 million. Like, dude,
mm,
fuck off. I'm not gonna buy this guy. And then you can't complain about it like Saki, like it's easy, like it's a choice, like, oh, we don't like Italians, you know.
mhm.
It's
Yeah,
just not doable.
yeah. If it was doable, I think we should. I mean, obviously Milan's an Italian team. We should have a lot more
What's
Italians.
doable? It's doable. It's having a good youth fucking team instead of having one half
Yeah.
decent player every 25 years. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Camarda might be, amazing player if he keeps up his pace, but he's 15. We'll see.
I think Udoji's gonna do real good at Spurs. I think he'll settle into London. I think he's been playing last two games, but I
He looked
mean,
good
I
the
don't
other
know.
day.
Mancini, he was drunk off the Peronis, off the wine. He was saying that we don't have no talent. Just stop picking bums like Acerbi and bums like Bonucci that are past it. If you
no,
really want to start the youth players, like come on, Scalvini and Bastoni should be the partnership for the next 10 years. But they want to bring in guys that are old. Come on now.
no, I mean, but you need to score goals. Like, we don't have strikers that score fucking goals. There's no Italian strikers. We had like great strikers for a long time, but
We
now,
did.
dude, we had to go and pay and take Retegui to play. Like, it's just like there's nobody. There's literally like we skipped a generation, and it's crazy. Maybe I don't know. I hope we're gonna figure it out again. But just think about it. Even on the club, as a club like Chelsea, the youth team at Chelsea, they have like a billion players coming out every year. We have our Primavera. First of all, our Primavera like finishes like 17th in the Primavera, like league, and then the players are just like 12 levels under. They go and play in Serie B, and then they get on the bench. Like, Colombo is the best that we get, and he's gonna be loaned to a low tier Serie A team. Like, I just don't see us producing any talent.
Yeah. I think the other problem too is when we loan out these Italian players, I feel like they're always loaned to teams that just don't play them. So it's
Yeah.
like, why loan them to those teams? Loan them to somewhere where they're going to play with consistency, so they can get that experience, they can get that confidence, and then carry that through to the next club that they go to. Hopefully, it's a better, bigger club, and they get more playing time and et cetera, and it just builds.
That makes. But when you're a striker, you gotta score. So at the end of the day, like, they're gonna play you if you score. If you show that you're worth it. So, if sometimes, like, you're not good enough. Sometimes you're Cutrone. You score like 70 goals in Primavera, and then he plays at Como. Petagna, like,
Mhm.
mm, so mid. He's the middest of the mids. We don't create great players. I don't know how you do it, but it's a fact.
Yep. So just to move on, we had a whole round of Serie A games, obviously, for the first week. Did you guys see anything from the other teams that would give you maybe a little bit of pause, a little worry, or something that looked a little bit more favorable to us? Obviously, Lazio bottled it, which is hilarious.
No, I
Um,
think we, looking at everybody else, I think we still looked really good. I mean, even if you look at the score lines, I mean, Juventus was 3-0, but their first two goals were just, they're total mistakes on Udinese. So I'm not, our goals were actually well deserved. We just dominated the whole game. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Lazio scuffed it. Roma scuffed it.
Mhm.
Inter looked pretty good, actually. I gotta say, unfortunately, they
Yeah.
looked pretty decent. But
Unfortunately,
I
the team
think
with no money
Palladino was
does well.
I think Paulo Dino was drinking and he went away from what the hell he was doing. He was doing sideways passes. That's not Paulo Dino's ball. Hopefully we could loan out Colombo to them because they're looking for a striker. So hopefully we could send him to Monza. Maybe he does good. Maybe he scores 15 goals. Look at how crazy it is. Balogun scores 21 goals and now he's worth 70 million pounds sterling. So what? That's like almost €100 for like one good season. Like it's crazy. Maybe Colombo scores that and we could sell him for 70 million pounds the next year. We never know.
Yep.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Inter. They're just like solid. And honestly, Arnautovic really played well. He looks like I mean, he's 34, but he really was playing with class. I think he's a low cost, really good player. But what else? Juve, I don't know. I just feel like until they have Allegri, I don't worry too much because they just gonna play like shit forever. Like he's just a horrible coach. So they're just gonna be defensive, like literally like reactionary in the way they play. The- it's not something like Spalletti plays like crazy football. Allegri plays horrible shit. I don't know about Napoli, but dude, when I saw Osimhen's goal, he just like lasers it in.
yeah, it was.
He was like, I don't give a shit. If I hit you, you
Yeah.
go in the goal with the ball.
Yeah, they needed to wait. Yeah, Napoli, like the first half, they obviously got scored on first, but then once they got going, it was, yeah, they
Yeah.
dominated. Osimhen was just incredible. So yeah, they're to worry about too. I think Napoli and Inter are definitely a worry. I think we can get through Juventus. Like I said, they had those. I think they didn't. They couldn't. You couldn't tell. I think is what I'm saying with their game. You couldn't tell with them. The scoreline thinks that you makes it seem like they dominated, but Udinese like really fucked up. So can't tell.
Yeah, I mean, you can say it about our game too. You know, we did good game. We played decently, but Bologna had a lot of chances.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm saying like we deserve to win. Obviously, we're much better than Bologna, but if they scored, it was
Mm.
gonna change the game. Obviously, like 2-0 is like super chill.
They were
But
knocking on the door for sure.
Yep. So let me go to the chat here. Grab some of the questions and things that people have posted from our club. Um, Jose, he said, "How do you guys feel about the Derby? It's only in a
totally.
few. Yeah. I hope. I fucking hope we
I
win,
don't
but
want to think about it. Thank you, Jose. Now I'm stressed.
yeah, I'm stressed thinking about it.
What's our score
Um,
prediction?
Oh, dude. No, I don't do that.
No, what do you-
Oh, and it's technically an inter home game. I don't. I forget how is the ticket allocation? Is it 60-40 when or
No, 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 dude.
50-50 or
It's just like the curva is like it's gonna be the whole stadium is for Inter and the Milan curva,
yeah?
and that's the opposite.
Okay,
So it's gonna be like I don't know,
yeah.
80-20, 85, maybe.
I'm all freaking nervous thinking about it
It
right now.
depends. It depends a lot because again, if we go and we play, let's say we win against Torino, and then I don't know if we fuck it up against Roma, then we have 2 weeks
Yeah,
with the whole press saying that we're shit and we're shit, we're gonna lose and stuff like it. It
yeah,
depends on a lot of stuff. So I don't know. It's just like it's a horrible time to have a derby, and lately with
After an international break too,
yeah,
for 2 weeks where players aren't playing, possibly,
dude.
it's bad timing. All I can hope for is Inter take a complete shit. That's just all I can hope for.
No, I feel like the thing is it's early season, so for everybody they're kind of like trying to find their distances, and
Yep.
so it's gonna be even more impossible to predict. We just need to really, not do some stupid shit like last year when we basically decided not to play. You know.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, Gio, what you think about the derby?
I'll get there when I get there. 9 a.m. start, baby. Thank you, Serie A.
Yeah.
We have to compete with the Premier League out here in the States.
Hey, at least
Thank
it's
you.
on a weekend.
Yeah. No, but you know what? I'm gonna be excited, man. Especially if we win these next two games convincingly, then we'll be up for the derby.
Yeah.
I think we have more. I think we have more weapons. A lot more weapons this time. For Inter, Nautovic looks good for them, but that's how they always is. They get like an older player and like a Dzeko. Dzeko did very well for them. Everybody thought he was finished. He came in there. He was class for them. That's how Inter is. I think they know how to go through adversity of being broke and like just replacing, selling players, replacing, and that's good. But I hope I don't know. I'm ready. For me, for that derby, I would love to see Chukwueze because the Inter fans are really scared of him.
Yeah, but Gio, I want you to close your eyes and remember the first 20 seconds of Bologna Milan. Literally, both from the right, cut through the whole pitch to the left, and then instead of the Bologna player, put Di Marco there. It's just like I just seen it so many times. And it's exactly what Inzaghi does every time against us with the three back that become five, and they just like turn us around and they fuck us over like so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah,
So
like
I,
you said, 23 seconds.
dude, in 23 seconds. I mean, again, like he
Yeah.
tried to shoot from like a mile away, and it happens. But I'm just saying, like we are like non-balanced, and the teams know it, and Inter knows it better than anybody.
Yeah.
So I
What
just
if we have Lukaku starting up front, though, Andre? What if we have
uh,
Lukaku ready? What if
dude,
Lukaku is our number 9,
dude,
starting for the derby?
I don't want
Do
that.
it. I can't. I can't do it.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, I don't want Lukaku. No.
No,
No,
he's
Lukaku.
he's a villain. He's like
Total villain.
I mean, I like
It's time for us to get it's time for us to get one of their players that they love to.
it never goes well. It never goes well when
Yeah.
this type of situations. I don't know. He's the most toxic player probably ever. Dude, I don't know if you dude, I read a stat that he's the player that made the most like that basically moved the most money with transfers ever. More than anybody else. Because he's being sold and bought so many times, you know? Even Ronaldo, when he left for Real, it was 100 million once. It's not like he's been moving every 2 years everywhere. He's been moving more money than anybody because he can't fucking settle anywhere. I hate the guy.
He's just he's purely about himself. Which I mean, at the end of the day, people whatever. But yeah, he's purely about himself, and no heart for the team at all, and he chooses his devotion to whoever gives him more money. So fuck him.
Mhm. Yeah. Milton asks, what's what's the necessity right now, striker or defensive mid? We kind of touched on that. Um,
Amrabat.
yeah, I think a defensive mid.
Yeah, if you sell Krunic, I don't think it's gonna happen. We need a defensive mid. Let's not forget about Musa because Musa, I think that Pioli wants to eventually mold him into that type of player so that he can finally bench Krunic
Yeah.
forever.
Hopefully, Musa starts maybe on Saturday versus Torino.
Nah, he doesn't start. Why
I
would
don't
you
think
just?
he's fit, Spence. I don't think he's fit.
Yeah.
No.
I think he was complaining to Valencia the whole preseason to let him go, so he wasn't even training with the team.
Yeah,
So I
you
don't
might be
know if
right.
he's fit.
Again, another guy that what the fuck? What's their job, dude? Like it's the end of August and now you're not fit. What are you doing? Like I don't understand that. Stop training. What was he doing? Fuck. Dude, I don't.
Look at a person who just went for 115 million pounds. He's not even fit neither, and he gave away the penalty this last Sunday. Moises Caicedo.
Did you see that? The whole game was such a horrible like, for Chelsea. Like all their like players, Enzo Fernandez missed the penalty, and then Caicedo conceded one. It was such like a it
Yeah,
was really insane. Like all the planets aligned to tell them to their shit. You know.
Yep.
but
Yeah.
nobody's fit nowadays. Like they don't even train. Okay, now when I'm on my new team, now I'm gonna get fit. Like what type of stuff is that? Be ready. Remember, guys, we have a guy named Lacetic who is 18 years old and he was unfit and he weighed like 150 pounds. And how could you be like so tall, not have any fat on your body, but you're not even fit at 18 years old, 17, 18 years old? They said we needed to give him 4 months for him to get fit, and we never seen that guy ever again.
Has he been loaned out
Yeah.
to?
Yeah.
No, but to some like insane, obscure
Oh, okay.
team. Like he's literally like this.
Yikes. Anish, I'm sorry, I'm reading this and just laughing. He says, "Any thoughts on Ivan Toney for striker? I bet we can get him cheap because of his gambling ban until January. I think that's like the most Italian move ever. Oh yes, he's got a ban. Yes, come on, yeah, it's fine.
Look,
Come on.
did you see that also Paqueta is being,
Yes,
you know,
he
they're
probably told his family, "Hey, bet on me going to Manchester City."
no,
Off.
but also, bro,
It was
you're
off.
making like 300,000 pounds a week. If you like, he told his like basically his friends to open apparently allegedly to open his to open accounts and bet on a yellow card, and then he got the
Yeah.
stupidest yellow card ever. Dude, you want them to make a little bit of money, just give it to them. You're rich as fuck, okay? You want to go to jail in the process for some cash? Like I don't understand that shit, dude.
Is that true? I mean, is they? I mean,
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know who
they've been
snitched
investigating
on
it.
him, right?
that's they
So
snitched on.
West Ham have a sponsor, Bet365, and they didn't want like since they're into like marketing, they didn't want them since they got rid of Declan Rice. Now Paqueta's gone. They don't have nobody that's marketable for their brand. So they're the ones that call like the Premier League. Hey, you should check this out. Like these are all the families, and they send them the IP address and stuff like that. That's why Manchester City said, "Nah, let's."
That's an official story that
Yeah,
Bet365 was like, fuck
yeah,
this guy.
yeah. You can't
Wow.
pay 20 million pounds a year for a sponsorship.
But dude, it's crazy. This story is just like because the thing is, I don't know how to explain it, but I read about it and it looks like really compelling. Like he did it, and it's crazy. So it's such a
Yeah.
weird story again because do you know what the fuck that money buys you in Brazil when you're making 10 million pounds a year?
It's
Just like
insane.
just fucking send an envelope full of cash. Send 20 of them, okay? It's the same.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Maybe it was like,
crazy.
yeah, and you get
And you
taxed. Send it as a
man.
gift. It'd be non-taxable, right?
Yeah. All right, to kind of round out the podcast here, do you guys have any hot takes or controversial thoughts or opinions that you would like to indulge?
Geo's our controversial thought opinion.
Now, man, I'm really happy. I don't know. Is it confirmed, Andre? You will know more than me. But shout out to Spalletti. You know, I think he's going to have the Azuri, the little Rosinis purring. And hopefully that he don't play no more older players. 31 and up, you disqualified.
Yeah. No, but he's official. There's a whole controversy, of course, between like Napoli and the whole like Italian federation. It's a shit show, you know. It's just like shows the state of our football is not in
Yep.
a great place. Also because the thing is, Paletti is a great coach, but Mancini is a great coach. The problem is the players. He just doesn't have that type of class. I think we can do better. Like we can go to the fucking World Cup if like Jamaica goes, we can go. I think.
I think also just the drama behind the scenes with Gravina and all the bureaucracy.
The thing about Italy is like nobody ever resigns. It's like a rule of being Italian. You're in politics, you do some horrible shit, you never resign, ever. Okay, so these people they don't go to the World Cup twice in a row, and they
Same
don't
people.
like motherfucker. You need to leave. Okay, just it's insane. So these people are just like it's real politicians. They're just never gonna leave. You know.
I'd be surprised. I would not be surprised if, speaking of controversies, the Spain, I think it was the head of the Spanish FA who kissed the player or the coach. After the World Cup victory for the Spanish women, I would not be surprised if he stays somehow.
I didn't see the.
I think obviously he should go, but
Like on the
I'm not
lips or
surprised
what?
if he. Yeah, he's like full on like full on just went in for the kiss, no consent, no like hey,
No consent.
oh yes,
I didn't
he
think
just
so.
went in, he did it.
I should have asked her. Hey, can I kiss you?
Yo,
Yeah.
Yo.
Hey, I know we won the World Cup, but can I kiss you?
can I
Dude,
just lunge at you?
it's insane. I mean, I just saw a picture, so I was like hoping that he just kind of tried to kiss the cheek, and I don't know. But then
It's
like,
a
no.
turn. Yeah.
No.
What the fuck are you? Oh my god, that's crazy. Yeah, but again, the bar is much higher in Europe to be canceled for shit. It's not like people here get like, dude, in Italy you need to really really try hard.
Wasn't there also the drama last year with the French FA president or something, or there was something crazy that they did, and yeah, still in power. He's like 89 or something crazy, 89 years old, and he's still
Just don't
it's
admit
a
it.
mess.
Just deny, and just never admit it, and then it slowly just drifts away, and then come up with yeah. You just come up with some other kind of controversy or something to distract us all, and then that's it.
And Anish says Gianni Infantino will kiss Drew like that when handing out Champions League medals.
Yeah, dude. I would do it too. Olivier, I love him so much. He's like I'm so glad that we got him. He's in the history of the club.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, dude.
And he's rejected a lot of money moves to stay with Milan. First,
Saudi Arabia,
Everton
too.
offered him, and then Saudi Arabia was offering him crazy money. He says, "Nah, his time's not done in Europe," and which is cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Saudi come in next summer and give us 100 million for him. Why not?
I want to see the Saudi. Dude, did you guys like watch a little bit of Saudi league?
No.
Dude, I please go watch the highlights for the final cup, the one that Ronaldo scored 2 goals and they won.
Was it the 3-2?
Yeah, dude, I swear. It's like 12 minutes long because there's 47 like almost goals because they don't defend. It's just horrible. Because again, it's when there's like charity games in which there's like real players but also like a DJ and like a chef. That's how they play. It's literally Ronaldo, Mane, and Brozovic, and then if they pass the ball to the wrong player, he's a barely a football player. He's just like, yo, guys, I'm sorry, I'm just happy to be here. The same shit with the other team. They have Milinkovic Savic. He plays as a striker because there's no point for him to pass the ball to anybody. Just like give it to me and I try to score.
I'm not just
It's-
happy to be here.
It's
Just happy to be
so
here.
bad. Dude, I swear to God,
Well,
it's so bad.
The crazy thing is that there's the rumors that they're trying to get the Saudi clubs into the Champions League.
Yeah,
Come on.
I think
Come
it's
on. No way.
they're gonna bribe their way into it.
Well,
So
I mean, the crazy we forget that even the guy who owns PSG or Nasser, he is in BN Sports, so they get all the TV rights. They have the TV rights for the French League, the Champions League. He's also on the board of UEFA or something crazy. So and he's on like 3 other major boards that all deal with soccer. This
Yeah,
is
he's
crazy.
the royal family of Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
He doesn't give up. He doesn't need it even to be in those positions. He's like he owns everybody already.
It's wild.
It
Wild.
it's just like I don't know. I just feel if you but the thing is if you watch those highlights are hilarious. But
Okay.
dude, MLS it's 7 steps ahead. You know, and MLS is not great, but it's football.
Mhm.
Saudi League, it's charity
Yeah.
football.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, do you think some of the messy goals though? Have you seen
Well, yeah,
those highlights where they're like they look at the defenders and it's like it's
yo,
almost they're saying like it's rigged because
Fox,
Parting the sea
yeah,
for him.
have you seen those that goal that he literally like kind of waddled in the middle and he just nobody
the
fucking even approached him.
the one
But dude,
person to get
it's Leo Messi. You should be 7 around him.
yeah
But it kind of looked on purpose.
yeah. Kim
It
Kardashian
makes
was there,
sense.
so they had to.
Dude, it makes sense, man, because I've never watched an MLS game in my life, and I've seen like at least like a bunch, and I'm more interested than ever because Messi scores over and over and over again. But dude, just the thing is, it doesn't matter if you like press him, he's gonna score anyway. You know, this fuckers are thinking, oh, I'm not gonna go, so he scores. Bitch, he scores anyway. Try, you know, it's Leo Messi. Like I don't think he needs people to open up and to let him go. You
Yeah,
know?
and they don't want to be megged or crossed up, so they don't want to be on the highlight reel of just being demolished. So they're just like, just let him go.
Dude, did you see the game, the final against what was it, Nashville?
Yeah. SC Nashville.
The last second that the Miami striker almost scored. They kind of dribbled the keeper and kicked the ball on the post. It was like 99th minute last ball, and he almost won it for Miami there, but he messed up. It was a crazy moment.
Yeah.
Quality one.
All right. I think I don't know. Does anybody have any other things or?
Yeah, yeah. Just I do. We got obviously a watch party coming up. We'll be at Fox. We'll have a split watch party. So we're gonna be at Fox and Hounds in L.A. and we're also gonna be at McAllen's in Brea. So wherever you're closer, come meet up with us. We're super excited to go to each spot, and we got the website's being updated regularly. We got obviously this podcast being uploaded to YouTube and Spotify, and so we're growing big. The website to check us out to follow up is MilanClubSoCal.com, and so just go on there. You can see all the events. You can see our podcast episodes on there. And
Yep.
I
And
guess
follow
that's
us
about it.
also on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
Same Milan Club SoCal. We post all of our announcements and everything there. So check us out there. I think without further ado, I think that's the end of the podcast. So thank you, Andrea, Anthony, Gio, for joining. We will be next week, again, Tuesday, 8 p.m. We will go over the Verona game, or excuse me, the Torino game, preview the Roma game, and we'll see you guys then.
Saturday is the day, guys. Come
All
on.
right.
Let's
Forza
get
Milan.
the 3
Forza
points,
Milan.
man.
Forza Milan.
Milan.